See, I told you I wouldn't forget, and it's definitely not just because I got like a day until the event closes. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we continued a little bit further on with the Arc Knights collab, and this time we will be continuing even more on, but after pulling our guaranteed 3-star. Corp Merceau, infamously one of the worst identities in the game. Definitely among 3 stars, one of the worst. But still. Grosshammer has a 6 rolling skill 1. And then a 11 skill 2. And a 14 skill 3. It's really bad. Just the rolls are terrible. Grosshammer is probably one of the identities affected most by the early release syndrome, so I'll call it. It was the very first banner alongside N-Corp Roja, the 2-star. Very first banner, and it's not good. It's supposed to be a tank, and the way that they did that is they had it roll really poorly, so it would take hits. There's like no aggro, there is just bad rolls. He's not good. But still, yeah. We will continue on with the Inquisitor. There's something going on in the village. Here too. I'm hearing people shouting and hollering. When we returned to the village, ship repairs completed. We were welcomed by a rather hostile standoff. A quick count told me there were approximately 20 people assembled at the village square. Considering its population, that was pretty much the whole village. Is that over there? Inquisitor. I think we've been found. The Inquisitor, dressed in a well-kept uniform, was about the same height as Don Quixote. A sword and lamp hanging from her waist sits in stark contrast with the more run-down, ramshackle village. She almost looked like a fixer from the city. So, the Inquisitor has discovered our village.
Do you really think you could stay forever outside the Inquisition's gaze, citizen? It's a naive dream. Fabius disappeared from the Inquisition mid-interrogation under charges of suspicion of membership within the Church of the Deep. Last known location, South Flat. The other Inquisitors have informed me that you have been identified next to its pirates in its fringes. From a criminal to an outlaw, a dramatic evolution of your career. But it ends here, now. Every citizen here, including you, will be accompanying me to the Inquisition.
I've never broken a single law, nor the outlaws of any kind. They're not like me.
They've disregarded the Inquisition's authority, evaded the gaze of Iberia, and found this sodden coaster lurking. Then we're not supposed to find that suspicious.
What are you talking about? You can't just start arresting people left and right with tenuous suspicion like that. You shouldn't!
Oh yeah, Lewis, you live a quiet life, ma'am. Is that so? You might find yourself returning to this village one day, as long as you're telling the truth. It's not an option for you, Fabius.
Is Chief really a pirate? Well, yeah, but as far as I know, he's been out of the game for a while. And even when he ran with pirates, all he ever did was share fin-based jerky to his villagers. Or carry a Syrian between them.
Even if you're telling the truth, Mears, I doubt the Inquisition will be lenient.
Well, what now? For one question to ask. The Inquisitor. Is she following the proper legal procedures?
I don't know much about the laws of Iberia, but Dr. Kultz told us that the words of Inquisitors are pretty much the law here.
It's not good that she's following the proper legal procedures. Procedures are precisely what the villagers have fled from, after all. It's decided. I was quietly dragging it aside and whispered out outside of the mayor's earshot. The stairs were right next to me, seemed to have picked it up, though. Objective manager. Best immediately return to the ship, take command of it, and sail out on our own. It's unwise to involve ourselves in this conflict.
Well, you seriously suggest that we should let them arrest the villagers?
Did you hear what the Inquisitor said? Seems quite dry to me. There's just a standard procedure with no local laws broken. We're no place to involve ourselves. Our best hope is to take the ship before they impound that, too.
We can't do that. Even if it is a standard procedure, even if they're working within the law, it's not... You stayed up to hear Major's story too, didn't you?
You know, the Incorp Inquisitors were working within the law too when they came for the village. That was standard procedure too. Anyone had stepped in then. I know what you went through, but I'd still rather not take a risk in an unfamiliar environment like this. I'll try my best to figure out how to sail the ship. If I cannot, then I have faith in Ishmael to quickly learn its controls. Can't say wrong, but I don't know. Neither you nor I know anything about the ocean currents here, Otis. We can get the ship going, but I can't guarantee that we'll reach the dimensional door without any trouble. You. You only think about the sea currents of this region.
Not much, but I know the coast of sea somewhat. You can't put the Inquisitors directly here in our area. Fleeing with ship might be a better option.
What do we do, Dante?
It's kind of awkward just for us to just take the ship and go, huh? How about we try to talk to the Inquisitor then? I think we should at least try to hear them out first. Then being the Inquisitor and the Chief both. If the discussion goes well, we might even be able to get the Inquisition's support. Like Mr. Honolulu said, we should hear them out first. Try to convince them.
Are you with them both? First, let's at least see what that Inquisitor has to say.
Rabbit's right, she says.
I assume the transition was accurate, but seeing that.
Right? There's no way Ryoshi would choose anything other than violence, right?
Idiots, it's because the other options are pointless. Inquisitor's seen us. We're already under suspicion. She'll doubtless try to stop us if we flee now. So talk first, lower her guard, then attack. Pretty sure that's not what Amiya meant. You know, if she's already onto us, then we shouldn't give her any excuse to attack us by running away.
I was wondering what you were doing there, lurking in the background. Clock shaped dead.
You're from the Columbian Union?
They're wearing a clock for a head due to reasons, but they have nothing to do with the Columbian Union. What's the Columbian Union? TikTok, what? What language are they speaking? Regardless of where you're from, Colombia or not, you're clearly not from Iberia, let alone this village.
You're not wrong, but I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding. I'm quite certain you don't know enough about these villages to stand between them and an Inquisitor. How long have you been staying here?
2 days?
Buddy, don't just tell her that.
2 days?
Alright, enough of the chicanery. Get out of my way, outsider. It appears to have been made on quite the unstable ground.
Please lend your ear for a minute, Inquisitor.
I'm Amiya, leader of Rhodes Island.
Yes, I'm aware of Iberia's closed border situation.
I felt hope swelling within me as Amiya began with confidence, unlike Sinclair, alas it was short-lived. Thanks to Inquisitor's quick retort, I couldn't help but place my palm against my forehead at the exchange that followed.
I was not only we're dealing with outsiders of dubious origin, we have illegal entry as well. We had to because the issue demands urgency.
And breathed. Brazenly crossed the border, didn't you?
I don't know how urgent that issue could be, but I doubt it's anything more significant than the situation at hand for Iberia and its Inquisition. The Inquisitor's handling the Rhodes Island issue, so they put it and wait the consequences while he and that chatty med doctor of yours talk it out. Do know that your treatment may depend on her negotiation skills. As for the village chief, I understand you have the right to arrest him, as he is a fugitive who was fled in the middle of an interrogation and has been stealing with pirates. For it's an inhumane treatment to arrest the rest of the villagers as well. Inhumane? This is as well within the rights bestowed upon the Inquisition. They lived for years right next to that highly suspicious site here. The Inquisition must investigate the rest of them as well to verify whether they have committed any acts of treason against our laws.
This isn't going anywhere, is it?
Listen, they've been surviving for years upon years by the coast without the protection of the Inquisition, and it simply cannot make sense.
Oh, I think I've had enough from you. And finally blame them for what's essentially failing of your responsibilities. Now you're up in here, only got that short and be alive, I'm arresting them all. What, you saying these people should all be dead or something?
I am. There's no other way to cut it. People shouldn't simply be able to survive in a place like this, not for this long.
The visitor's reply seemed to only fan Heathcliff's wrath as he lifted his bat and began striding forward. That's it. I've never so much as top a single tip of the village's head.
Please calm yourself, Heathcliff. But Honolulu stepped between them.
Get your bloody hands off me, I've had enough of it!
Continuing to threaten him will only cause something irrevocably bad to happen. I believe you know that yourself, Heathcliff.
What do you suggest then? I'm not making any progress by trying to talk this out.
Excuse me, Mr. Inquisitor. What do you mean by that people shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this? I mean, if literally, even by some miracle that should do survive, they should at least be suffering from endless hunger, struggling to their wits' end at the inevitability of the calamity. They look too healthy. Heck, then shouldn't you be applauding them for managing to survive through so much hardship? I'm an Inquisitor. I'm not some crazy person on a power high who goes around accosting and arresting civilians of Iberia straight to the gallows, okay? I have more than enough probable cause to take them in for interrogation, so I don't have time or energy to explain every single one of them to you outsiders. I promise them a fair judgment, whichever way that may be, after a proper investigation. So stop with this obstruction of justice!
The Inquisitor brandished her rapier threateningly, her voice shaking with frustration.
Dante.
Without the full picture of the circumstances, Faust advised against further antagonization of the local police authority.
I agree with Faust.
I have the feeling she isn't the kind of heartless Inquisitor that goes around indiscriminately executing innocents like Miss Mayers told us about earlier. I don't think she's anything like the Inquisitor Vancorp we saw back in Call. They were right. We didn't have the full picture of the circumstances. Getting in the way of an Inquisitor, who was clearly a rather significant political entity in the area, was most likely a bad idea. It isn't the Inquisitor's job to answer your questions. Continue to obstruct me, then, as a stand of showing no signs of ending.
Miss Mayers? I can answer your questions. So for now, see what the Inquisitor says.
Mayers, who had been hiding behind us ever since we returned to the village, suddenly stepped forward.
It's what about grandfather in the villages?
It's alright. I'm sure this only happened because the Inquisitor does it now. What do you mean, though? You'll answer the questions.
About the profound silence.
Mayers' response to Otis was what a single concept. I didn't quite grasp its significance, but it seemed to surprise the Inquisitor.
That's what they call the calamity that destroyed Iberia.
Calamity. Calamity has befallen our family. I don't know how to do the voice of the guy from the narrator of Darkest Dungeon. Badass voice though.
You. Decades ago, a great wave devoured through Iberia. It wasn't long before the sea warrants carried by the waves has diminished Iberia's brilliant civilization to this. The waves. Fran's silence must have reduced the village to its current state as well. Any reason it's called Fran's silence? Doesn't seem the most appropriate moniker for a calamity like that. It's because the sea went dead silent before the waves came. The silence and claimed ships out at sea, says of Iberia than the Iberians. No we say a word in the face of an inevitable calamity. Just what are you? No average Iberian citizen could be privy to any of the information you're sharing. The Church of the Deep is really capitalizing on the pandemonium that followed the profound silence. When we are here from the sea, the citizenry of Iberia has sown chaos on our lands.
There's other rest in the arguer left and right. I can see the thought process, but
It's understandable why the Inquisitor would want to arrest us. Dante.
That's good. Sharing that seems to have been some kind of a taboo-like thing for the Inquisition. The Inquisitor stared wordlessly at Mares. Her eyes were filled with traces of anger and confusion, but
she's afraid.
There was fear in the face of a threat. Not the fear of the terrified, no. It was the fear of someone who's suddenly confronted with something they must destroy.
The Inquisitor once told me that shot across an eye who knows too much. There's a sliver of chance that maybe of assistance to Iberia.
Cease! Thou art threatening innocent with the brandishing of the firearm! But most are seduced by the allure of the sea. Thus they are with little doubt our foes. I have a bad feeling about this. Get out of my way, outsider! Final warning! Run! Quick in the uptake as always, Rhodia slung Mares over her shoulder and ran past the villagers, while the sinners scattered in all directions to distract the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor draws her firearm, and in the midst of all that action, Don Quixote rushed toward the Inquisitor without a moment's hesitation. Don Quixote, thou shalt go no further! I, a fixture of justice, shan't abide by as thou persecute them! Forsooth, 'tis a battle delayed, not avoided! The clash of inevitable! In a moment of crisis, seconds before this could irrevocably make us a new enemy. Monitor. A large obsidian crystallization in the shape of a monster burst forth between the two of them.
Or is it this time? That's enough of this meaningless bickering.
Dr. Kaltsit! Do you know her?
Yes, she's Dr. Kaltsit. Rose Island Medical Department's, Dr. Kaltsit behind you. Should first talk later, is it? The negotiations are over. From this moment onward, Rose Island is now operating within legal capacity in Iberian territory under the Inquisition's authorization.
It was her fire blast from the firearm-looking weapon, but a monster summoned by Kaltsit managed to deflect it. And the cannonball thrown from the weapon punched clean through the wall of the building we stayed the night in, before punching through several other buildings beside it. And that was enough to instantly freeze the sinners and the villagers on the spot. That penetrated the building. Though the walls may be weaker than the head standard for what counts as the building's exterior wall to punch through so many is what a precise point it makes. Not the time to stand around impressed! It's a violation of taboo to have that much penetrative power in a firearm. Alright, sorry about that. I had to step away for a moment. We're out in the city. Don't lose your heads over this. Taboos don't apply here. My head knows that to be true, yet my heart finds it difficult to be still.
There's enough of that discussion for now.
It's advisable that we carefully observe and grasp the situation at hand instead of deliberating on a taboo the jurisdiction of which does not reach this far. Yeah, so, the situation's gotten slightly better, right?
If she's Amia's friend, she's our ally.
Besides, she got some super powerful prosthetic. Started looking gear thing, too.
Is that what you think? I apologize for the disappointment. I'm not on anyone's side. In other words, your particular denomination ally might not be entirely correct. However, if I must define my allegiance, then let me inform you that the closest label will be that I am Inquisitor Irene's ally. Dr. Kaltsit. Amia, outsiders. As much as you'd like to deny the Inquisitor's suspicions are true, it can be said that the process by which she reached that conclusion was unfair. The conclusion itself is without a doubt correct. So they're actually connected to the Church of the Deep? That's one way to put it. To be more precise, they aren't connected to the Church of the Deep. They are the Church of the Deep. Perhaps the village itself is a dilapidated church of their congregation. A village or church? Just look at our buildings where we even congregate. Thoughts, Faust? There are not many reasons by which we might analyze the decision. The fact that Amia's colleagues made the same argument as the Inquisitor brings, the accused defense into question. Yet, I can hardly believe that young man is lying to us. You've been chatting, playing with that Inquisition, whatever. I know you ain't lying with them the whole time. I see, you really are entirely in the dark. Expected outcome, given that you all of you may be from a place far beyond the dimensional door. As fortunate you have it, there's no need for you to know it anyway. Truth is truth unchanging, without the acceptance from an errant group of outsiders. Besides, soon...
I'm sorry. It seems we might in this trouble. Say no such thing. Just abide by one as by not by. I should not abide by as one such injustice perpetrated before our eyes. The village is already identified by the Inquisition. The Inquisition even brought an ally. It seems unlikely that word shows all this conflict. Well, I promise you, we'll take responsibility for what was done. Benefit far too much from your warmth and kindness not to do so. Village chief, with a benevolent look, pulls a dagger from his cloth, and I immediately knew what Kaltzik was about to say. Take responsibility? You have to go that. Blimey! We're now departing for the sea. Yes, we cannot bring ourselves to leave you here. I must ask you to join for this journey. Become our bloodkin.
What are you doing, Scott?
The anticipated, or perhaps I was simply in a denial of this rising dread. Ambush did not end there. Damn it, the Inquisitor was right! The villagers suddenly began shanking the sinners with weapons they had concealed in the clothes. And it seemed that they were coming for me as well. Ami, on your left! Ami, a materialist black ribbon-like apparition, parrying away the dagger flying in my direction. Another villager rushed in, taking advantage of the opening. The charging villager's back made a visceral, crunchy noise. Someone flung away.
Didn't mean to be this late. Scotty, let me catch you with the street.
In a situation, fishy smells at what I went after to investigate. What about the sinners? Unlike Ami and I, who managed to survive the initial ambush, the sinners weren't doing so well. I had a silver lining that the Inquisitor and Galtzit quick understanding of the situation and the subsequent retaliation led the villagers astray from the sinners.
How didn't I notice any muscular aggression?
Well, nothing to say. Well, we hold any animosity against you. Why do we intend to kill you? We're not trying to hurt you. Simply trying to give you a form better suited for the sea. Till we were obstructed. I apologize for unfamiliar as caused you trouble, Inquisitor.
Make a big stink about what happened. It's truly unforgivable that the heretics tried to take advantage of the ignorance of outsiders to flee the Inquisition. If you are outsiders, any lives lost in my Imperial soil are my responsibility. It's my fault. I'm sorry I came to this.
Lives lost, we're still alive, you know. I can shake off a stab wound, like, it's most unfortunate outsider.
What?
Friends are either going to die or turn to seaborns. They got to stab on place with the flesh of the sea terrors. As that happens most of the time, the survivors become overwritten by themselves, giving up to more than another sea monster.
What? That's
not a very big deal. Everyone was acting like this was it for the sinners, but I should be able to deal with this by turning the clock. It's not that bad. My only concern was that I didn't know what would happen if I tried to bring them back after they're fully transformed into seaborns. Rolling Battle helped deal with the whale's palification effects, but I had no idea how it would interact with seaborn transformations. I should just kill them before they turn.
I know this must be very hard for you, but what?
I'm sorry to bother you with this, but can you kill my friends? Preferably in the least painful way, you know? Oh, sorry, was that last part kind of too much to ask?
Wait, don't give up already. If we bring them back to Rhodes Island, we should be able to do something to help them.
How should I explain this? Can I ask you?
Dante, I know what you mean, but I just can't right now.
I'm sure they've been deteriorated since the ambush.
Yeah, it's kind of tingly too, so maybe they use some kind of paralytic cocktail?
It's just, trust me this one time. I can assure you that I'm not just giving up on them.
But...
Come here. Can you stand this outside of speech?
Yes, it's just that they're making a pretty difficult request. They want me to kill all their friends before they're transformed into Seaborn.
Okay. And before we knew it, Scotty had already tapped the sinners, none of whom resisted. Namiya seemed to have been taken aback by just how fast Scotty jumped into action. What are you doing?
Scotty?
Don't let this spook you, this is just how we roll. The clock turns. The decapitated heads creep toward the headless torsos, connecting with thrusts of blood. The sensation is that of reversal. Those of the sinners and I are severed from the rest of the world, rewinding in isolation. Is this rewinding us going back in time, or a way to find the concept itself? This pain is multifold worse than the sensation of a straightforward decapitation. The pain is in the heart. As the current of death reverses, I sense a deep, crushing isolation.
Their wounds are disappearing.
Resurrection, metempsychosis, or time reversal.
Puzzling. I have no knowledge with which to interpret this technology. The cost seems to be that the pain is transferred to the one who rewinds.
But that seems too small a price for such great a power. The discussion about whether this can be categorized as power should be explored later. I couldn't stop shaking. All my limbs were trembling from the icy solitude. Still, I took a moment to collect myself and order the sinners. I don't know just what they were thinking, but we should be able to find out once we take them down. Dare you see the executive manager try to take their life? Prepare thyself, for thou shalt now pay the price of making a mockery of justice!
Yeah, can't just let that slide, you know?
How unfortunate. And I hope some of you become fine, Blutkins.
that picture goes so fucking hard. It's just the Sinner's aura farming, but goddamn, it's so cool. Like, I feel like that image is really like the first time that you kind of see that the Sinners are just like okay with this. Like, it's not really abnormal for the Sinners to constantly die and be revived. It's just what they do. I mean, like Dante said, that's just how we roll. And it's so fucking cool. Again, like, I have been a little bit behind on doing this, but not for lack of liking the story. I think that the collab does the story incredibly well. Like, it adds quite a bit to the LobCorp story, it adds a lot to the characterization, all while being, like, still I mean, like, obviously this, sadly this is limited content. This will never be able to be brought again after the event is over. But still, like, it's very fun. As for Arknights, I have played only the slightest bit of Arknights. I don't even think I'm past the prologue. It's a fine game. Like, I can see myself really, really liking it if I put a lot of time into it, but that's just... I'm not fully... Like, it hasn't grabbed me enough yet to, like, proper put a bunch of time into it. Again, like, it's fine. It's fine. It's really all I can say about that. It's fine. No, I don't want a retreat order. Again, like, I'm too early on to really make, a super definitive decision, I think, on if I like Arknights or not. But it's, again, I could see myself getting into it in time. But I got other things to worry about in terms of gacha. Obviously, got Limbus. Limbus is my number one gacha. Uma Musume I've been enjoying quite a bit. I think with Arknights, in terms of playing it, I think it's a little bit too, like, high focus to use as a secondary gacha. It feels like it has to be either your main one or not one you're really all that into. But, I could Unbrilliant Glory. It's very cheap. And it's unclashable. Sure. Why not? We're in a fight anyways. 57 from that, 13 from there. So we just want to intercept there. So pop you, pop you. Music also is very good in this collab. I haven't really listened to the Arknight soundtrack at all. So I don't know how it is in comparison. I don't know how similar these are in terms of, like, if this really follows a lot of musical stylings of Arknights. So, something I'm just not sure of. But from what I understand, like, for the most part, people that, again, this is just my understanding, I do not know for certain. From what I understand, if people like Limbus, they are generally going to like Arknights. There's no guarantee on that. As with the cultists of the deep, they're really not that big of an issue. They inflict sinking. Their big thing is they have a sanity. Who is that like? Dead Rabbits, I think it is. Or at least, Dead Rabbit's boss, I believe. I think that's right. There's another enemy that does have an annoying passive that is more or less the same thing. I'm actually going to focus on you, or do the Answer Me High Show packs on Fabius. Yeah, for the most part, the Cultists of the Deep aren't really that big of a deal. They don't really have too much special about them. I would say they're easily the easiest, well, of the two enemy sets, they're the easiest. The Seaborn Terrors are a lot more difficult. Yeah, especially now that we're getting our sanity up, they really aren't that big of a deal. It's just early fight they're a little bit annoying because they raise their sanity so much quicker. So you end up being a little bit behind on sanity, they end up being a little bit more ahead. So, yeah. I still don't exactly know how Man Scabbard works. We're on Brilliant Glory. So what is it? It ends every turn it resets. Oh, never mind. Fucking the exact opposite. Let's just use a bunch of Man Scabbard. Yeah, to use up to 40. Okay. I do know from like some of the videos from before I got it that generally speaking, it's something you want to spam a lot. I'll actually do that. Never mind. We clash with you. Yeah, Fabius, really not that big of an issue. Cultists of the Deep, not that big of an issue. Like, honestly, a lot of the enemies in the collab are very easy. I'd really only say there's 3 difficult enemies in the entire collab. There's 2 bosses later on that are pretty tough, and then there's 1 Seaborn Terror that is also quite a pain. I know we fought them already, but I kind of just sped through them. You know, didn't really mention much about it. Nice. Yeah, we can do a lot of damage to you. Requiem. We should be able to get quite a bit of damage down. Triple slash, there we go. Yeah, exploding the villagers, very fun. They go kaboom. Of course, with a lot of sinking being involved, it's not too bad. It's good that we do have actually quite a few negative identities. Of course, Earl King, Wild Hunt. Wild Hunt is both, and only has the option of a Only has the option for negative coin on one attack, but... Wait, I think they're heading to... He's running himself into dead end. Seeking refuge at sea. That's where the ship is. That's where they're heading. Try to board the vessel with Mathis. Wait, but we never told them the ship was repaired somehow. And an obvious whole village is in on. And I'm surprised they'd send someone to spawn us. There's no way to get the ship floating even in its broken state.
SlayerMathis.
Vessel rebellion tells Mathis. The ship is moored and aboard the direction.
Can't be.
Irene, who was preoccupied with the battle with the rest of battling the rest of the followers of the Church of the Deep who were in hiding, quickly gave chase. But Fabius and the villagers were already aboard the repaired ship, slowly departing the harbor, with a horde of sea terrors between us and them. Look at a vessel of that size become operational this fast!
Exterior, the name. It has been constructed during the golden age of Iberia. But how are we supposed to chase that? What if we build a raft and rode after them?
Mate, come on.
Sea's full of sea terrors. Won't get very far before it sinks.
See something on you? Keep looking in that direction. Oh. The vessel Mathis soon disappeared into the mist, and the village was left empty with nary sign of people ever having been there. As though this gateway had all been premeditated. Getaway had all been premeditated. Leaving only mares. Just double checking stuff. Okay. This is just going to be a pretty long episode. Yeah, okay. I'm just checking on my main to see what we all got. Oh, but we do have enough for title elegy, so let's grab that. I'm still so shocked that I managed to get all the collab egos on this account. Just get rid of us being able to use Crystal's Nightmare, but like, fucking oh well. Title Elegy does have attack weight, but it is better to use when there's a single target. It does more damage then, so it's kind of weird that it's a very weird one, but extra sinking, so this actually will do quite well with we go over to Molar Ishmael. Does a lot of sinking. I might eventually go back to, well, I will at some point eventually go back to my sinking team, but not for a little while. We got other priorities at the moment. Damn it. Can't we just take the ship, any ship, go after it? It's a research vessel. Can't possibly be very fast. This will be difficult. Even if it is a research vessel, I'm sure it's constructed during the Golden Age of Iberia. No average ship can keep up with it. Which is the problem, is they don't have any ship that can travel at the same speed. We have a few small vessels left, which are all anchored too far from this location to be feasible options. Do we have any recourse? No? Not unless we identify the exact location of the vessel. Which is the real problem. We find ourselves a ship to go after them, yes, but most eyes of the Iberia, the lighthouses, were lost during profound silence. When you say most, do you mean there was some left? Just one as far as I know, going Grand Pharaoh, but what else can be used at the moment? There's another. It's the lighthouse you can use. Really? You're only going to give one of the villagers the benefit of the doubt? Young Scotty has already confirmed her to be safe. I wonder whether she is Aborn or not. You know if she's a cultist. It is true, yet once we saw that Maris was left all on her own, we decided to have her accompany us at all times and keep within Irene's eye. We couldn't possibly blame her for what happened, given Scotty's confirmation she doesn't have anything to do with those sea monsters. Besides, they'd all left her behind. But Irene still seemed to harbor a bit of suspicion. The problem with the idea is that she simply knows too much. We should possibly have learned all that. Gained access to all that information, whatever. See, she can't even answer that question. Let's put it this way. What if we were to ask her what we don't know? Location of the lighthouse, for example. They're ticking rapidly. What do they say? Dante says we should approach it differently and ask what we don't know, like the location of the lighthouse. Seems like a reasonable suggestion to me. Does the Inquisitor have an alternate solution to this conundrum? No, but fine, let's hear it. I won't interrogate you about how you have access to things even us Inquisitors don't know. It's not right now. Pharaoh Murto. The lighthouse. That's a religious name. Somewhere that little ways off from the coastline is an attack of Iberia on the sea. It was almost destroyed when the Frown Silence swept through. Off the coastline. It's not called to the land. I think it used to be until it sank. Able to procure ourselves enough wood material from the village to dig fucking whatever, goddamn. To build a raft. Is it near enough for a raft to be the means of access?
That's not great today, but you should do. It's not very far from the coast. Even you're gonna trust the Aegir? I don't see why you shouldn't. I understand that I'm being mistrusted of Aegir is quite profound, yet such sentiments hold to the rest of us. Wizard Irene, what do you feel when you saw the world's island operator? Talk about the cultist, nothing in particular, other than slightly annoying because she accused me of being inhumane. Didn't harbor any hostility nor disgust. Not that you have really felt any sympathy or empathy either. I thought I have no history of feelings for or against the Aegir. Such must be said for the outsiders. What's she on about? Since conveying that in matters of regards to matters, our opinions are more objective than Irene's. Finding the vessel Fabius commandeered would be of benefit to all. Limbus Company will gain an opportunity to return to the city via dimensional door, or Rose Island will have the chance to study it at a close proximity. An Inquisition will gain possession of the vessel in which the technology from the Iberian Golden Age is contained. Just gonna hand that over to the Inquisition? Should we cover wars on Tiberius? While there certainly are aspects to that vessel that draw interest, I already have a state-of-the-mind art masterpiece known as Mephistopheles. Not like we guarantee I see no reason to refuse. I would eventually agreed to put her trust in mayors. We're unlucky executive manager. It's quite fortunate that our interests aligned exactly with that of the first stranger we encountered in a strange land. Oh, he's right. We managed to work back in the city. We've taken them like 3-4 free distortion hunts for us to come to this agreement. Sorry about having steadily you with this, Miss Mayors. Please, leave us the lighthouse. Okay, happily. So, when is that almost destroyed? How almost destroyed is it? I heard that light faded from the lighthouse a long time ago, but the shape still stands. At least it was when I saw it a few months ago. That has an inoperable state. We're going to need an expert technician to get it back in working order. Technology is based on is completely divorced from the popular application of Originium technology, so I doubt there's any anthing who can work it anymore. Then needn't worry about that. Here we have an engineer and a researcher who are geniuses even among those in the city. We should be able to manage most mechanical failures. Here's revelation after revelation, huh? I can vouch for Limbus Company's skills. I can also work on simpler tasks. I've learned a thing or two about Gramps. Stuff about the lighthouse and various tech stuff. Did you all head to the lighthouse together? No. I believe in the group for a moment. Ami will accompany you instead. After all that, you're just going off on your own? Yes, to join the doctor. And prepared for the successful execution of this mission. Of course, that hinges on Ami and Shkadi remaining behind here to assist the rest of you. This leaves the rest of you to take the Eye of Iberia, the lighthouse, back. I mean, you'll take back the lighthouse. Is there someone or something out there that's taken over the lighthouse called the Eye of Iberia? A likely supposition. Amia, what did the manager of Limbus Company say? They're asking if the lighthouse has been taken over by something. Not a bad intuition. Yes, there's a high likelihood that the structure's already been overrun by sea terrors. I don't know about overrun, but I've encountered them a few times when you approach it too closely. No means it's hardly enough personnel to attempt to raid on the lighthouse, but answer me this. Are there any limitations to the revival? There are no restrictions as long as Dante, the manager, survives. However, do note that battle efficiency appreciates with prolonged battles which mounting mental stress on the manager. No need to change the plan then. Amia, just communicated to alert me as soon as you're able to identify the coordinates of the vessel from the lighthouse. If luck would happen, you will reduce the time it takes to complete the retrieval mission. Okay, as long as you're not taking everyone with you. If just her that's leaving, go ahead. I think we should be fine too. Then let's commence mission, vessel master's retrieval. Alright, step one of the plans we're after, right? Let's get on with it. It's done, let's go. What? Why are you looking at us like that? Something bothering you? Mr. West, took up proactive and quick sheets to jump to action. Don't lives up to the image of employee work for a large corporation. Thanks, Otis, for that cheerful view, I guess. Thanks to Shadi, who had already finished the first step of the plan, we were able to move on to step 2 immediately. Jesus Christ, fucking 80 from that? I think I counted both. Yeah, well. Operation Lighthouse Retrieval. And we can, we already got title already equipped. Yeah, it's fine. Yahoo. After a while of carefully sailing on Scotty's raft along the coastal cliffs, a gargantuan shrouded lighthouse emerged from the thick mist. Eye of Iberia. Even in still up to the ruined state, touches that are once monumental and sensitive are apparent in the exterior construction of the lighthouse. So you call these lighthouses Guardians of Iberia. Contains the grandeur of the era, which was built during its golden age. You really know everything, don't you? And as she said, now these lighthouses are nothing but graveyards, countless inquisitors and soldiers of Penal Battalion. No attempt to retrieve a lighthouse has ever survived the expedition. Can you please not stay scared of something like that, Miss Irene? We're literally about to walk into one. Would you ever quit chirping? What, you a foul beast? Stop yapping in my ear. There's one such a coward like the rest of you outsiders. Coward is forced my... She did say some pretty concerning stuff. How long do you think repair will take? This exterior is rather heavily damaged. However, from what is visible on the outside, its interior is quite intact. This Faust's expertise, which should not take very long. He suddenly suggested with a smile that Faust maintained her silence for the entire journey to the lighthouse.
then said something pretty concerning in response. Of course, my work remains unmarred in even such uncertainties. Current's pretty wild. Something I'd stay behind and keep an eye on the raft. You can just leave it here unattended, but I don't know if we can carry it either. I'll stay here and protect the ship. You sure you can handle this alone? No, strong, but maybe two more people should stay behind just in case. No, don't need them. Sea terrors will swim the island if I go with you anyway. This has nothing to do with you. What she's trying to say is that she's worried about you not having enough people to take on the lighthouse while she can handle this area alone. But she's okay with staying behind alone. Thanks for explaining. Some people just can't help but help through the next shoot, I guess. Trust her. Look back, Shotty. Luckily, we didn't run into any sea terrors on our way to the lighthouse gates. The problem was that the gates were bound shut by strange blue tissues. Reminds me of the L-Corp branch back at U-Corp. That one was white. I don't think I can do anything to force it open by myself, so... Can you pry open this door? Oh, I move over. Both from the outside, you got the left hand. I'll pull together. 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3. Huh? Someone's off here. What are you doing? The door is firmly secure. Please. This flesh she's regenerating almost as soon as it's torn. Perhaps we need to tap into a wilder form of art to get this opened. And now, strange flesh tissue is growing on the gates of sea terror. It's reacts to lamp, but it's grown too much to be affected by any meaningful capacity. She might be able to open this door with her incredible strength, but should I go fetch her? I think she's already fighting off sea terrors from the sinking raft. We're on our own. Maybe there's an identity card or an ego I could use to get through this. Which one? Just as I was pondering a familiar question, a faint black glow came into view and devoured my sight. It's no intuition or inspiration. It's different from those sudden flashes of realization. It's not the star of that day that I think of from time to time. It's not the horrible door that I see every time I turn the clock either. The formless and black space in which I'm not permitted to see. A faint noise, a whisper, cuts through it. Through that opening, I see light. I reach out to the opening and see Scotty, born from a very, very warm gaze. Scotty. Powerful imagery crashes onto me like the waves. Scotty, the staggering dancer wielding a blade. Scotty, flaunts her flowing locks. And Scotty, the singer, humming in a low voice. Beyond the fringes of cognition, Scotty's existence has become engraved. The singer who can wrestle and control this oceanic tidal power is... Dante, you alright? Good. And I don't think we'll need to send for Scotty. What? Ishmael, I've never used this ego before, but I need you to trust me and accept it. There you go. And now quietly. Well, it's not like we ever get to have a practice run with his ego. Whoever it is, seems to me their friend just found a solution. Her confusion is short-lived. She lets out a carefree laughter before stepping forward, boldly twirling her mace once. So what's that can happen? Get corroded? Cracks in the lighthouse are growing! They just shut the door and started opening it. Didn't think it'd be this strong. The door's open. What are we waiting for? What was the part where you... Part where suddenly changed to a different outfit and equipped a different personality? Yes, that! That is... And this is more fascinating. There's an ego that could be drawn here, in lieu of being of Mephistopheles. I think it's connected to Amia's subconscious mind. It's a strange, unfamiliar light, and I saw Amia's emotions attached to her memories and experiences, so I just reached out to them. My subconscious mind? I just had a feeling this would work. Sorry about peering without asking first. But I didn't see anything other than things about Scotty. I need memories and emotions that we used to understand the being that is Scotty. I also have experience gaining power from others' memories and emotions to overcome difficult situations. Maybe that's how you were able to draw something from me as well, Dante. That's the most appropriate assumption, especially in a situation in which delving into its principles is impossible. So that's called an ego? Badly! Of course, Limbus Company's ego is quite distinguished from the other kinds of ego, which are blooming from within oneself. That's enough. No further information is to be divulged to outsiders. The matter is not about the young mares and young Amir learners. I agree with that fool this time. Because there's an artillery projectile that penetrates the outer wall, several of them, in fact, of a building, and the head did not pursue her following the breach of taboo. It's clearly not the city. Any better to let her talk her out than to hear her moan and whine about not being able to say anything? I'm convinced. Do as you will, then. Faust's reply sounded almost sulking, but Don Quixote immediately began to expound upon ego to Irene and Mares anyways. But I was too busy to pay attention to her, as the wet slithering noise from a distance had put everyone on edge. We can do that later. Got some cleaning up to do. There are more sea terrors past the door. I think any sea terrors from the sea are all converging around Scotty. Means our only roadblock is the sea terror still lingering around the lighthouse. Let's go. Let's take this lighthouse back. I will speed up this fight. But first, I will mention the Basin Sea Reaper is the only one that's really difficult. Combat ready state is pretty strong, and they inflict quite a bit of nervous impairment. Nervous impairment can be a bit of an issue, but really the Sea Reapers are the only scary enemy of this group. Anyways, I will now proceed to speed through this, and I'll play some of the collab music over it. Not a terribly difficult fight. It's just basic ones. There's no story in this mission, so I will do it off screen, and we'll end things off for this time. Next time, we'll be getting to a very difficult fight. And yeah, until then, see you guys later.